Hello, online crew. I am back. I'm back from my holiday in Bali, albeit a little bit under the weather. So the night before we were coming home, I started to feel a little bit stuffed up in the head. And by the time we got home in the last sort of 24, 48 hours, it's grabbed hold. So I'm just grateful that if I was going to get sick, I did it at the end of our holiday and not the beginning of our holiday. I've just got to say that I'm grateful for that. So if I cough, if I splutter, if I sneeze, I apologize. I'm trying to sort of get over this, whatever it is. I have done a couple of COVID tests so far, and thankfully it is not that. It's coming up negative straight away. So I don't think I'm pretty positive I haven't caught COVID. I don't actually feel physically sick in the gut or throwing up or gastro or anything like that. It's just a head cold. Does that make sense? So it's frustrating because I'm back and want to get in full force, and I feel like I'm at 3/4 pace getting back into the scheme of things, but that's okay. That's just life. But I'm here. It's good to be back. I hope you've enjoyed the last couple of weeks without me as well, but I do want to have a chat about the experience of downtime and taking off time and holidays and our businesses and feelings around that, and just that whole sort of discussion around downtime and downtime in this industry as well, and what that can mean. So let's have a chat about that in a second. Again, apologies if I sort of cough and sneeze and splutter. At least I'm on a screen. I'm not sitting next to you. Other than that, had an amazing time. Love the warmth of Bali. The fact that, we lived in bathers for basically 2 weeks. You don't even have to own a jumper of any sort. The temperature doesn't really change at nighttime. I completely lashed out. A lot of you might know that I've lost over 20 kilos in the last, in 4 months. And I'm really, really pleased that I only put just over 2 kilos back on. And I ate and I drank, and we had ice cream and I had fries. We drank every day. We had cocktails by the pool. I ate what I wanted, and we had this thing, we had this challenge. I'll just share this with you quickly. Do you guys know what I mean by the ice cream, like Magnum? I'm pretty sure it's worldwide, like the Magnum ice cream. So I love white Magnums. I don't know why. I just like the white one. And we had a challenge going on between the kids and Paul and I to find a white Magnum, because they've got Magnums everywhere in Bali, but they don't have white ones. So if you know Bali at all, there's mini marts everywhere. Like, you walk a few steps and there seems to be another like mini mart of some sort. And they've all got the little freezers with the ice creams in them. So it's like, oh, there's another one. Let's see if we can find one in there. Not one mini mart, not one place in Bali had a white Magnum. But what it meant is that we were going into all these places looking at ice creams, and so we would end up buying a Magnum like every day. So we went, if you saw any pictures on my personal profile, we went quad biking. I went on water slides, at Waterbond Park. If any of you have heard of that, like the huge water slides. I didn't go on the ones that you stand in a cage and the floor drops out and you just drop. The boys went on that. I just couldn't bring myself to go on that one, but I did well. I went on a lot of water slides and had a lot of fun. So those that are live, say hello. Hello, Laurie. Thank you for that. Hi, Beth. Great to see you on. Thank you. Missed you. Well-deserving holiday. Thanks so much. Hello, Cherie. Great to see you here. Now you need a vacation from the vacation. It's interesting. Hello, Yvette, as well. Great to see you on. It's interesting. Normally, when you work really hard and you do a lot of things like I do, and I've studied a lot in my years, like studied and worked and studied and worked. Whenever I push, and then go on a holiday, I get kind of sick straight away. That's just, what your body's doing. But it wasn't like that at all. Like as soon as we got to Bali, it was awesome. We just went to a very, very public place. It's called Potato Head in Seminyak in Bali. Look it up. It's a huge beach club. It's awesome. It's beautiful. I put a couple of photos on my like personal profile. It's got an infinity pool that sits like over the ocean. Amazing, amazing place. But it was after that I started to feel a little bit sick. So I think there's just people everywhere. So it's not hard when you go overseas and these days to catch a little bug, but all good. So while I've been gone, I just want to say some thank yous to a few people. And this is part of my discussion today with taking a break and whatever, is the people that you have around you and the systems that you have in place. So I have a few more things in place that maybe some of you do that keeps things ticking along for me to be able to have a break. And there's a couple of, a few people, obviously. I've got a couple of VAs. My day-to-day sort of VA, Bella, it just keeps the emails going, the posts going out, like everything keeps ticking along. So very, massive thank you to her. And to Beth Frederick and Laurie Endress, who have delivered the training in the coaching community for the last couple of weeks and, helped out with things and kept an eye on things. Massive, thanks to those two, my online crew concierge team, for holding the fort and keeping things like, and the VIPs. Clubhouse has kept going without me. The coaching community training has kept going without me. Like my business has kept ticking along, for me to be able to have a holiday. More on that like in a minute. But thank you to those that are around me and that I work with closely to hold the fort while I had a lot of fun. Okay, so let's have a chat about downtime and stepping away and having a break and what that means and how it affects your business and all those kind of things, because I think it's an important discussion to have, and a few reality checks like around that. Firstly, we are all human and everybody needs a break. Do you not agree? But when I say a break, you need to get out of your own home, your own environment. You need to be in a different place around different people, potentially, different scenery, just like a real break. I do believe everybody needs to fill their bucket. Do you agree? Like we get to that point where, day-to-day life is quite grinding. This business can be very grinding. So we need to kind of step away from that every now and again and fill your bucket. Here's what you don't see with things like what I've just done in the last 2 weeks. What you guys would see here is that I haven't gone live. 2 weeks today was the last time I went live. So to you, I might have stepped away completely for 2 weeks. I haven't. Okay. So there's the reality of when you're an entrepreneur and when you're a business owner of your own, when you have multiple streams of income like I do, there are certain elements of responsibility that we've got to take for that publicly people might not see, but you're still doing things in the background. I still took my computer with me. I still had my phone with me. I'm still liaising with people on TikTok, on messages. My following was still growing over there. People are still watching my videos. I put maybe 3 TikToks up while I was away, just from photos and stuff like that. I didn't go live. I didn't do those kind of things. But I'm still doing kind of the minimum viable is what I would call it. I didn't just stop fully for a couple of weeks. You almost, so I've had a wonderful break, even though I sort of come back a little bit sick. That's, by the by, I had an awesome break from most of the things that I do day to day. But when you're an entrepreneur and you've got goals and dreams, you can't step away 100%, I don't think, when you've got those responsibilities. So there are still things that I'm doing, and I've got things in place to keep ticking away. So posts still went up on my business page. Posts still, went up everywhere they needed to because I've got a VA. So some of you might have that and some of you might not have that. That's what you need to take into consideration. How much can you step away with the size of your business, the size of your leadership? Do you have a team? Do you not? Like, are you just walking away from yourself? Or are you walking away from other people that sort of need you? So I just want to make that clear, even though you don't see, and I didn't do a lot, I will admit that there are still things and messages and emails that I was sending about products of mine to potential customers and stuff. I was still doing that while I was away, albeit not a lot, still keeping things sort of ticking over and not walking away completely. So there's that to consider. Okay, there's things that you guys would see from me and there's things that you wouldn't see from me. So there's still small things ticking away. And as an entrepreneur, I have a responsibility of that for my business, and I'm okay with that. I still had a wonderful time, even though I would check messages and do a few things here or there. It's not a big deal. Okay, so there's that. The other thing is, and this is the biggest thing I want to share with you around this, I've got enough discipline and willpower and goals and dreams and things like that to put this into perspective, but I'm not sure that other people do, and that's why I want to mention it. As humans, you will tend to walk away from things that are hard. You will always gravitate to things, unless you're aware of this, you'll always gravitate to things that feel good. When you're on holidays, when you step away from your business, it feels good, doesn't it? Because you don't have to think about your business in this particular industry. So some of you that have got jobs, you'll know this, and you take holidays, is you close the door, you walk away, you don't think about the job for a couple of weeks and you go back in, and that's easy. So it's easier to do. When you've got a business like this, you're always thinking about it. When you're building on social media, you're always thinking about it. I should be posting. I haven't posted. Or I was going to do some reels or some TikToks and I didn't. And you beat yourself up for that. So you can end up with a negative experience. I hope I'm explaining this right. I hope you're getting the message from this. Because what I'm trying to say is realizing, what are you doing all this for? What attracted you to this industry in the first place? Why did you join the business that you did? What is it that you want to achieve for your family, your children, your grandchildren, or whatever? Because you need to hang on to that in times when you have downtime and walk away, because that will make you feel better and you will gravitate to things that make you feel better. For some people, that does mean even walking away from the industry in total, because it feels better. It's easier. You will absolutely 100% gravitate to things that are easier in your life and make you feel better. So when people step away and they get distracted by life, or they go away on holidays or whatever, it feels better. They feel better. And I'm so much happier when I'm doing this. So I'm going to step away from that because it's harder. So if you're not in tune with that, you'll walk away from hard things. Am I making any sense to any of you that are live? Does that resonate with you? This is not an easy business to build. When we're in an entrepreneurial space and we are in complete control of what we post and what we don't on social media, the various things that we have to do that we don't enjoy doing, the conversations, the follow-up, the whatever, it's hard. And sometimes you don't feel like doing it. Your brain will naturally gravitate to things that make you feel better and pull you away from the things that are hard. So what I see people do when they go away or they step away from the business is they might even step away altogether because it's easier. Because they don't want to do the hard things because it doesn't feel good. So we've got to, this is where, when you work hard, take the break. You earned it. I've earned that 2 weeks off that I just had. But what I'm sharing with you is I didn't walk away 100%. There were still things, small things, not not large things, still things that I needed to take control of because of the size of my business. Some of you could walk away for a couple of weeks and it doesn't make any difference and you don't really need to do anything and you just hop back on a couple of weeks later. So be it, all good. But realize what your brain does when you have a break. It can push you the other way to go, I don't know, that doesn't feel as good as this feels good. This feels better. So I'm going to stay over here and I'm going to avoid this. And you end up moving further away and away and away from what your original goals and dreams were, because this is a hard industry to build. Does that make sense? I've got goals and dreams that are bigger than, you know, the fears and the hard things. Do you not think it crossed my mind in Bali? Don't think it didn't cross my mind in Bali when I'm getting messages from my teammates and various things going on and, you know, issues that arise, because they're still there when you're a leader, thinking maybe it would be easier to just go and get a job. Wouldn't it be easier to step away? I wouldn't have to worry about all of this. Or do I even really want to be on social media? It's nice to take a break. Like all those things. If you don't think that doesn't cross leaders' minds, you're delusional, because it does. But my goals and dreams are bigger than those fleeting thoughts of maybe it would be easier if. Does that make sense? Okay, so everybody goes through that because it's a human feeling of what makes you feel good and what is easier. You will naturally gravitate to what feels good and what is easier as a human being. So we've got to recognize in this industry that yes, everybody needs a break and everybody needs downtime, but how do you interpret that downtime? Do you even deserve the downtime? And I don't mean to be rude when I say that, but some people will say, yeah, I need a break from my business. Okay, have you even got a team? Are you working with a team? Have you got any customers? What are you doing? You're not posting on social media. You don't have a team. You're not really working that hard. You're avoiding it. And then again, and I talk about this a lot, you're thinking a lot about your business, but you might be like embedded in trainings and trying to do things, but you're not really getting any results. And you think you need a holiday. And maybe you just need a holiday from your own head. I hope I'm not offending anyone when I say that. But some people are like, I haven't been on a holiday. I need to go on a holiday. Holidays are, an opportunity to recharge and refuel your bucket. So then you can be energized to move forward with. But how hard have you been working up until that point? Does that make sense? So we've got to be realistic about how much we think about our business and how much we're actually doing in our business. And what I'm encouraging you with this discussion is to realize the difference. So we don't want any of you overthinking your business and not getting any results. If that's what's happening, then you're not talking to a mentor closely enough. You're not having those conversations. You're not pivoting quickly enough to go, okay, I'm doing all these things, but they're not really working. I've got to try something different. So you've got to be adult enough to know where to spend your time or get the advice that you need from a mentor that you're working with to go, okay, this is where I've been spending my time, or this is what I've been doing or not been doing, etc. I'm not sure if these are the right things. So we want you focusing. So when you're on, you're on. When you're off, you get the breaks that you need and you fill your cup constantly every week. And you know the difference between when I'm on and I'm time blocking and I'm building my business and when I'm off. So you're planning your time, really well. The bigger the leader, the bigger the team, the bigger the issues. Does that make sense? So, there are things that I've had on my plate, and there are sleepless nights I had in Bali because of my business and because of things that happened. Here's another thing. That happened, not necessarily business related, but affects my business big time. My credit card was fraudulently used while we were in Bali. So we're sitting in, we just finished a day at Waterbomb Park. If you don't know what that is, it's a huge water slides place, huge in Bali. It's a tourist destination. We went there for the day. We were sort of checking out. It was about 5:30. We were about to buy some photos that they took. of us, because they sting you with all that kind of stuff. Those tourist attractions, they take the photos and then they get you at the end of the day, and they charge you lots of money for them. So we were looking through our photos, and I was about to buy some photos, and I looked at my phone, and I got a text message that says fraud alert from my bank, saying that your credit card has been flagged for this particular website. Did you make this purchase like 15 minutes ago? And I looked at the website. I didn't recognize the website. So then I went to Google. I looked up the website, and it was something totally obscure. Wasn't me. So I replied to the message, and they said, your credit card has been temporarily blocked due to a supposed fraudulent transaction. So what that led to is that my credit card had to be cancelled. So we're overseas. My main credit card that is attached to everything to do with my business and all the things that I use for my business, all my little pieces of software, my email marketing, my Canva account, everything. My whole life is run off that credit card. Cancelled. Did you not think that caused a bit of stress? So when things come up, my point though is, and note to self, I have a spare credit card. I've always kept a spare credit card. So we were okay. We worked things out. We juggled funds. There's not as much of a higher limit on that second credit card, but I could still transfer funds and make sure. So it was a bit of a juggling act, but we got through it, and I've got a new credit card on the way. I already got messages while we were, in Bali, saying this is bounced, this is declined, because all the automatic payments on my card are trying to go through and they're already bouncing. So I've been dealing with that since a few days before we came back from Bali. There's always issues in life to deal with. So whether it was my team or my credit card or whatever, you have to be a solution seeker and not embellish in the problem or the fears or the uncomfortable feelings of being in this industry. Does that make sense? There's always stuff we need to deal with. There's always problems that are going to come up. So I had to be very mindful, and I did have some sleepless nights because of the credit card and because other things that were going on. And it's just like I'm always thinking, okay, what's the best way to move through this? What's the best solution for this? How can I juggle this to deal with that? How can I, whatever. There was always things like, just shit happens, guys. Does it not in life, in your business? Credit cards fraudulently used. Obviously somebody scanned my card because they had the 3-digit number on the back of my card. So somewhere I've used my card or handed it over. Somebody's screenshot my card or taken those details and then tried to put a transaction through. I'm just stressful, yes, but I am so grateful. And this is where my mind went. I am so grateful that my bank caught it immediately. One transaction, one fraudulent transaction, I'm getting a text message immediately. My card's put on hold. Imagine if my bank didn't do that. I wasn't looking at my statements. I'm having fun in Bali. They could have had a field day. I've got a very large credit limit on that particular credit card. They could have gone nuts and maxed out my credit card if my bank didn't send me that message. So that's what I said to Paul at the end of the day. I'm just grateful. Yeah, it's a bit of a head case, nightmare, situation to deal with. But I'm just so grateful that, the bank picked it up straight away. So there's always stuff that we have to deal with. So the bigger the leader, the bigger the issues. But here's what I also notice in the network marketing space. When I step away, some of the team do as well. So watch that. If you've got a team, if you start being a little bit distant, if you start walking away, they stop showing up. They stop showing up to calls. They stop listening to things. So as a leader, yes, it's important to have downtime and teach people in this industry that they also need downtime. But you do need to be very careful of this industry, of how long you step away, how you step away, what kind of things you've got in place to step away with, people or systems. You've got to have systems and duplication, all those kind of things to keep things ticking along while you step away, because people are always watching you. if you've got a team. And what I have noticed is when I'm a bit quieter, so's the team. Absolutely. So there's that to watch as well if you're a leader in any capacity. People do what you do, they don't do what you say necessarily. Okay. So I don't necessarily have any particular conclusions to this live other than to say everybody needs to fill their cup. Everybody needs downtime. Yes, agreed. But be very careful in this industry of what that downtime and what those feelings of stepping away does for you. I'm okay to step away and come back in a couple of weeks later and go back in full force, even though I'm not feeling 100%. I'm still here live with you. It would have been easier just to sleep in and go, I'm not going to go live. I wouldn't do that. It's, my commitment is still to my business and my, you guys here and, everything that goes on. So would it be easier to give in to what feels better? A bit more rest, sleeping, not coming live again. Like if I give into that, then I'm giving up. So I always come back to what am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? How do I become a solution seeker? How do I time block better to make sure I get the downtime that I need? But when I'm on, I'm on. What you don't want to do is go week after week after week after week, thinking a lot about your business, watching a lot of training, but not getting any results because you're not doing the right things. So that's really where you want to evaluate. So you can work hard, you can get results from your hard work, and then you can have your downtime and have it every week. And then, have your holidays. Because I'm a big believer that every one of you needs a holiday, but step away from your home, go overseas, go to a friend's place, go catch up with a girlfriend, whatever it is, just have that time for you to recharge, feel better. Like I feel totally recharged apart from being sick, if that makes sense. Like I've come back with a head cold. I'm all stuffed up and things like that. But, it is what it is and that will pass. So take from this live what you will. You've got to be careful to evaluate where your head goes when you have time off. Okay. Does that make sense? Did you take anything away from that? So, I'll leave those thoughts with you. Now, from here, we're back on normal schedule. Have a great live for you tomorrow, collaboration, and then just watch out. This month, I've got the TikTok Bootcamp 2.0 later in the month. So it's over a couple of weeks away. We'll launch that for registrations next week. But if you want to learn more about TikTok, I did a TikTok Bootcamp 5 months ago. And I've been on TikTok regularly. I've grown my audience. I've got customers off TikTok. There's a lot I've learned from TikTok over the last 5 months since I did the first TikTok bootcamp. So I want to update you with, what I've learned and, how it's serving me and, some tips and tricks and stuff that I've learned, along the way. Okay. So I will see you same time tomorrow. Okay. I'll catch you then. Bye.